이상하죠? 아이언이 잘 맞는다 싶으면 드라이버가 안 맞고, 드라이버가 잘 맞는다 싶으면 아이언이 잘 안 맞습니다. 강의 영상들을 봐도 어떨 때는 똑같이 치라고 했다가 어떨 때는 다르게 치라고 했다가 오히려 더 혼란스러워지기만 합니다. 그래서 오늘은 드라이버와 아이언이 어떤 것이 다른지, 연습 방법은 어떻게 해야 되는지 완벽하게 정리해드리겠습니다. 드라이버와 아이언의 가장 큰 차이는 뭘까요? 드라이버는 티 위에 있는 공을 치고 아이언은 땅 위에 있는 공을 친다는 겁니다. 이와 관련해서 300만 골프 유튜버인 릭 쉴즈의 영상을 통해 분석해보겠습니다.
Number one, with driver, because we want distance, we want speed. And to gain speed, we need to have a stable base. So making sure when we set up to driver that our feet are wider than our shoulders. That way, we're going to make sure that we've got the stability to create a big shoulder turn. That's number one. Number two, ball position. As I mentioned with driver, we want the club to move in up into the back of the ball. Without getting too technical, an upwards angle of attack. So to do that, we've got to get that ball position inside left heel. As you can see there, my ball is inside my left heel. See, too many golfers getting it right in the middle of the stance, and that's no good for driver. Get it up nearer that left heel. Next thing is how we position our upper body. If you think about this, the lower body is very symmetrical. I've got that nice wide stance and I'm ready and I'm stable. With the upper body, we need a little bit of tilt to the right hand side. So I want to feel like my right shoulder drops down and also slightly pulls backwards. That way, as you can see at setup, notice how my upper body has a little bit of tilt in it, and that's going to help me hit up into the back of the ball. That is absolutely essential. Again, too many golfers get the chest over the ball with driver, and that's not going to help you hit it a long way. Having that little bit of tilt in the upper body, making sure then during the backswing, that tilt remains the same. You can see I'm still behind the golf ball, and even at the point of contact, notice how I've still got that upper body tilt. My hips have turned, but my upper body is still tilted so that I hit up on the ball, maximize speed, maximize distance. Quick recap: wide stance, wider than your shoulders, ball position forward, slight tilt in the upper body, and pull that right shoulder backwards, and also then feel like you stay slightly behind the golf ball as you hit to make sure you launch it up in the air. Now with a 7-iron or a mid-iron, you now don't want to be hitting up on the golf ball. The ball's not on a tee, it's predominantly on the ground, and you want the club this time to be hitting slightly down into the ball. The angle of attack is coming down. That's why your setup has to be totally different. With irons, we do want a wide stance, but not as wide as driver. So this time, trying to get the feet about the same width as the shoulders as opposed to wider. And notice how in my setup here, my chest is much more over the golf ball, and that ball position is just in front of center. So notice now my chest is more over it. If anything, and this is a really top tip, feel like your weight is around 55% in your front leg, because that's going to help you hit down and make sure you hit the ball first and the ground after. Now during the golf swing this time, the chest, as you can see, is staying more over the ball. I'm not trying to move to the right like I would do with driver. I'm staying much more over the golf ball, and as I come in to hit the shot, again my chest is actually left side of the golf ball. The big difference with irons, you want to hit down. You want to hit the ball first and then the ground after. See, the best players in the world do that, and with this setup, you can do that too. So recap: shoulder width apart, feet position, ball position just in front of center. My chest is more over the golf ball, and it stays there as I hit the shot. And as I come in to hit, my weight stays more towards the left. That's where the ball would have been, and I've hit the ball first and the ground after. So the club would have been going down into the ground.
두 개의 차이점을 요약하면, 드라이버는 티 위에 있는 공을 아래에서 위로 치는 어퍼블로우로 쳐야 되고, 아이언은 바닥에 있는 공을 위에서 아래로 치는 다운블로우로 쳐야 됩니다. 그렇기 때문에 공을 두는 위치가 서로 다르고, 상체 기울기가 다르고, 스탠스가 달라집니다. 그렇다면 둘 다 잘 치려면 어떻게 해야 될까요? 골프 레슨만 16년을 한 에릭 코고르노 코치의 영상을 보겠습니다.
I said clearly the 8-iron shaft is on a higher angle and the driver shaft is on a lower angle. Now, because of the way these clubs are designed and this 8-iron being on a higher angle, players that are good with their iron tend to swing the club very much up and down. So think of a swing plane that's very vertical. Okay, that works well with the irons. Now the driver that sits on a lower angle, that same very vertical swing plane is not going to work. So if you go play and you hit maybe a pitching wedge 9 or 8 iron and you hit it pretty good, you know, you're up there by the green, but then the driver you have a really hard time controlling, very likely that's the scenario. So how do we fix that? I want you to take your driver out or a longer club and hold it up in front of you parallel to the ground. Now the easiest way to swing around you is to remove any of the vertical part of the swing. The easiest way to swing around you is to remove any of the vertical part of the swing. I want you to swing this club around you. Imagine you're on a tabletop and there's no up or down motion, it's purely around you. Swing it behind your right shoulder and then swing through behind your left shoulder. And then on swing 2, let's take that down about halfway down to the ground on like a 45-degree angle. Same concept, let's swing this around behind my right shoulder, behind my left shoulder. Swing 3, I said, let's take the club down just above the golf ball, barely above it. Same thing, behind me, behind me. Now, as I'm lowering the club closer to the ground, there will be some amount of the up and down, but it's still more around. And then on swing 4, we hit. Okay, swing 1 level to the ground, swing 2 halfway down 45 degrees, swing 3 just above the ball, and then swing 4 we hit. I said, just keep it simple to start with. Have the arms working more around your body, much more level to the ground, behind your right shoulder, behind your left shoulder.
이 드릴을 통해 각 클럽에 맞는 각도의 스윙을 할 수 있게 될 것입니다. 아이언은 잘 맞는데 드라이버는 잘 안 맞는다 하셨던 분들은 내가 잡고 있는 클럽에 맞는 각도의 스윙을 하고 있는지를 확인해 보시고 그것에 맞게 연습하신다면 어떤 클럽을 잡아도 자신감 있게 스윙을 할 수 있을 것입니다. 감사합니다.